When wealthy women get the same treatment men have been getting in divorce court, suddenly it's a problem. Check this out.
Bachelorette couple Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo finalized their divorce in January 2025 with a settlement that has Rachel paying Brian over $460,000. The couple got married in 2019, but had a long-distance relationship until Brian moved from Miami to Los Angeles in 2021. By the end of 2023, Brian had filed for divorce. He asked for spousal support, claiming that he had put his chiropractic career on hold to move to LA and support Lindsay's media career. Meanwhile, Lindsay claimed that they barely even saw each other and that even though they lived in the same home, they lived separate lives. Lindsay was ordered to pay over $13,000 a month in temporary spousal support during the divorce case, something she wasn't a fan of. She reportedly put temporary leech support in the memo section of one of the support payments she sent Brian during the divorce. Lindsay was previously an attorney in Texas, but after her time on The Bachelor and later The Bachelorette, she became a correspondent for Extra and also hosted the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. She's now co-host of the podcast Higher Learning. Brian continued his work as a chiropractor during the marriage, opening up the Beverly Hills Disc and Laser Therapy Center after moving to LA, but claimed in court documents that he earned just $1,300 a month from his business while having expenses of $18,900 per month. Lindsay has been open about her regret of not getting a prenup when she got married. She wanted one, but Brian didn't, and she let it go. The whole experience made her question whether she'd ever get married again, saying the financial hit she took has altered her life plans, and that next time, a prenup is a must.
What do you think of that? Put it in the chat. She said the financial hit has altered her life plans. Wow. Where have we heard that before? When have we and where have we heard that before? You know, it's interesting seeing this because I've noticed that whenever women get the same treatment that men have been getting when it comes to support, court, divorce, family court, it's a problem. Let's not act like we don't know what Mary J. Blige said, what fueled all of her most recent songs, even though it's been a while. You know, her husband wanted spousal support. He wanted child support for grown kids. He asked for child support for grown kids, but his motivation was because there's thousands of women that still get child support for grown kids, grown ass children out of the house. Somehow, some way, in some states, in some localities, women are receiving child support from men for grown kids ordered by the court. And if he doesn't pay, he loses his license, he goes to jail, he loses his job. You know, it's just now in 2025, I believe that they passed a law that says that men cannot lose their driver's license, or anybody cannot lose their driver's license if they don't pay their child support. When it comes to alimony, we know the numbers. Let's not act like we don't know. 97% of alimony is paid by men, 3% by women. I always like to put these percentages in perspective. If you have a room full of 100 people, if I piled 100 people into my front office right here and said everybody in here has to pay child support, alimony, only 3 are women. The other 97 people in the room are men paying child support. I keep saying child support, alimony. Jeezy just got joint custody of his daughter from his terrorist of a baby mama. Did you guys see the reverse Uno that Dr. Dre put on his wife just recently? You know, she walked away with a big chunk of money, but somehow he worked away to get that money back just recently. You know, it's always a problem when men pull a woman on a woman, but women have been doing it forever. Halle Berry even pays child support. She says she has a problem paying child support to a man that calls her the N-word. I would imagine so. And in my personal opinion, I believe that it's not fair, but it's fair. Does that make sense? It's not fair, but it's fair, right? Here, I got an article. Let's read it. Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo's messy divorce, everything to know. Former Bachelor Nation couple Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo initially kept quiet about their decision to divorce, but more messy details have since emerged. U.S. Weekly confirmed in January 2024 that Abasolo filed for divorce from Lindsay. So that's him. He wanted to leave her. Here's a situation where he filed for divorce. Did she get played? Was this all a game? Did he do what he needed to do to get this check? Because he's getting $13,000 in spousal support and walked away with $500,000. Court documents obtained by U.S. at the time revealed he listed their date of separation as of December 31st, 2023, the last day of the year, and was seeking spousal support. They married in August 2019. Just 3 years. Many of you know me as a chiropractor and also a husband, my proudest role so far after more than 4 years of marriage. He must be saying that recently because he claimed separation December 31st, 2023. They got married in 2019, but August, so 20, 21, 22. Oh, no, he's right, 4 years. My bad, I did my math wrong. After more than 4 years of marriage, Rachel and I have made the difficult decision to part ways and start anew. He shared through social media announcing their split. Sometimes loving yourself and your partner means you must let go. Lindsay broke her silence on the split days later during a January 2024 episode of her Higher Learning podcast, thanking fans for their unwavering support. Obviously, it's a difficult time if you've read the headlines, and you're probably wondering why I would even work. But to be honest with you, I need to distract myself. And the best way to do that is something that I love, and I love higher learning, she said. I will eventually talk about it, but now's not the time. I'm just trying to take it day by day. U.S. confirmed in January 2025, just, a little over 30 days ago, that Lindsay and Abasolo's divorce was finalized. Lindsay and Abasolo met when they were on The Bachelorette in 2017. At the end of her season, Abasolo got down on one knee and proposed. The former couple tied the knot in 2019. So they were, together for 2 years. Only knew each other for 2 years, and most of it was televised. So they didn't know each other at all. And news broke of their split less than 5 years later. Court documents obtained by U.S. in January 2025 revealed that they initially reached a divorce agreement in September 2024. Court documents obtained by U.S. revealed that their estranged pair were still living together despite their split. Now, that's another thought. A lot of people are getting divorces but are still living together, and a lot of people are staying married because they can't afford to break up. A lot of people are getting divorces but still living together. And a lot of people are not getting a divorce because they can't afford to break up. They can't afford to lose. The economy is so bad that it's tough for people to just live apart. They don't even love each other. You become roommates. You can't afford a house next door. You can't afford another house in the same neighborhood. It requires 2 incomes. So it's very tough to get the divorce because you can't walk away because you'll be homeless. So you got to move home. He is seeking to move, but maintaining our standard of living is not financially feasible at this time. I didn't read this article, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first time reading this, but of course I knew the answer. People can't afford to break up. Can you imagine how many people are still married with somebody that they can't stand, hate being around, don't want to use the same bathroom, share the same sink, brush their teeth using the same faucet, sit on the same toilet, shower in the same. They don't even want to be in the same kitchen. They hate each other. There's a lot of marriages like that. There's a lot of people that divorced, went through the marriage, went through the divorce, finalized it, and still live together and acting like buddies. Because it's tough out there. I placed my career as a chiropractor on hold to move twice for Rachel's career, the docs read. These moves were detrimental to my chiropractic business, while Rachel's income and success as a media personality skyrocketed. Abasolo further alleged that Lindsay refused to give him access to any of their community property funds. Oh, so she kept the money. She locked down the bank accounts. Lindsay and Abasolo's January 2025 divorce documents revealed that he would keep his Miami home and she would keep her California residence. After requesting support in his initial filing, Abasolo asked and made documents for Lindsay to pay $75,000 in legal fees, claiming that he only makes $1,300 a month. Lindsay responded in a filing of her own that revealed that she hoped to quietly resolve the financial matters of their split. I bet. Brian continues to reside in Rachel's home in California, for which Rachel pays 90% of all the expenses. This woman she's being held down. He's like the old ball and chain, but in reverse. I know it's cringe to a lot of women to imagine that a man, a whole able man, doctor in this case, he is a doctor, a chiropractic doctor, and his practice is in Beverly Hills. And he's claiming that he only makes $1,300. You know what? He doesn't want to work. He knows that any money that he makes is going to reduce the money that he can get from spousal support. I wonder where we hear that story from. Who else uses that excuse? Where have we heard that from? Oh, I'm not going to get a job. I'm not even going to get remarried because if I get remarried, the alimony stops. In July, U.S. confirmed that Lindsay was ordered to pay Abasolo $13,257 a month in temporary spousal support. Court documents also revealed that Lindsay must pay $15,000 in attorney's fees and $5,000 for forensic expert expenses. As their legal battle continues, Lindsay revealed why she and Abasolo did not have a prenup during the 2024 in June podcast. The place I'm in now financially is totally different than when I got married. We were more level and I wasn't living in California. She admitted on the Hidden Gems with Natasha Parker podcast. We weren't on the same page with the prenups and I didn't want it to be a bigger issue, so we didn't have one. Hindsight is 2020. I would have done it now. You know, the thing is, she's saying that they were on the same level back when they got married. Basically, she blew up and he didn't. So it was no big deal that they got a prenup. It was like, for what? I make what you make. You make what I make. We good. You're going to blow up as a chiropractor. You're going to do really good in Beverly Hills. You know, it's how many people need to get their back straightened out. And then I got my TV show and I'm going to start a podcast and I'm an attorney. She blew up though, and he didn't. But he was right there and supporting her all the way through, right? You know how those acceptance speeches are. I like to thank my wife. Remember when Kobe was like, you wasn't in the gym shooting with me? But now that the shoe is on the other foot, suddenly women is going all ham, saying, what is wrong with him? Hey, listen, I'm not tripping. I agree. He needs to be a producer male. But why the outrage when he's doing what women have been doing forever? Fans speculated that Lindsay's career had something to do with the reason for their split, but Abasolo set the record straight. Yeah, I bet he was a little jealous. He thought he was going to blow up. He's from Miami. We've been living together for almost 3 years here in LA. Not sure why people think we've been apart this entire time, he wrote in an Instagram comment. Yes, her career came first. How many relationships has that ruined? Yes, her career came first, but there were opportunities for her that were smart for her to take, which could have not been offered later. It's hard as it is for women of color to get big gigs, which I've observed through watching Rachel's efforts. He also added, it's not just women who should be expected to sacrifice, but a man can do it too. Her building her future was not the problem. I bet. You sat back and was a good old house husband. He sat back and let her pay all the bills. Why? She pays 90% of the bills. Our marital standard of living was nowhere near as glamorous as Brian portrays it to be, she wrote in court documents. No, it was. She just don't want to pay she don't want to cut the check. In fact, we rarely saw each other or even lived together during our brief marriage. She claimed they rarely went out together and did not even go on monthly dates. Abasolo spoke with divorce counselor Renee Garcia in an interview released in July 2024. The doctor revealed that he and Lindsay had a pattern of unhealthy communication before their split. So they went to go see therapy, and the therapist said they don't know how to talk to each other. They just don't know how to talk to each other. How many relationships do we know that that's the case? We didn't spend enough time with each other, he shared. I mean, in my estimation, we saw what the other person was doing in the relationship, mainly on Instagram, although we lived in the same house. That's crazy to me. I could not be in a relationship where I'm learning about my woman from the shit she posts on Instagram, and she's down the hall from me. We park our cars in the same driveway, but I only learn about her new outfit. I only learn about what she ate. I learned about the new things in her life, how she's feeling, all through her IG page. Abasola said he had been, quote unquote, thinking about divorce for a while. I had already asked for a separation a few months back. I was sleeping in a different bedroom. We were already going to marriage counseling. I don't want to read any more of this. Now they're talking about the kids, and that's the last part of the article. Look, I don't think it's fair, but it's fair. I don't think it's fair, but it's fair. Ladies, I'm speaking to you. You need to stop with these fairy tale ideas of what you think a relationship and weddings and being together and living this whimsical life that you got from all those Disney movies that they don't make anymore, by the way. Being in a relationship requires work on your part too. Now, I'm speaking to you because I just showed you a situation where a man is doing a woman the way women have been doing men for a long time. I just want to let you know it can happen to you too. You might get, and the way these guys now are with this whole soft life thing, the drizzle guys, you might get caught up. He may be laying that pipe just right, giving it to you like you like it every night, and you got you getting ready to sleep with the devil. I got another video I want you guys to watch, and then I'm gonna let you go. Take a look at this one.
So I came across this post, breaking news. Israel Adesanya's ex, Charlotte Powdwell, cries her eyes out after paying him $500,000 for taking him to court after their breakup. Let's read below. Charlotte and Israel never got married nor had kids, but when Israel broke up with her, she took him to court demanding for half of his estimated $15 million fortune, arguing that they had dated for too long.
She wanted $7.5 million.
And he
they was
ought
married
to have
for 1
married
year.
her. So after following and investigating the case for over a year, the court finally passed judgment that she should be given half of Israel Adesanya's wealth, but it was discovered that Israel Adesanya's net worth is $0 and he has never owned a bank account in his whole life. And since she's worth $1 million and significantly richer than her boyfriend, her own money had to be split among them equally, leaving Israel with $500,000. It has been alleged that Israel Adesanya's entire $15 million is being managed by his mother, Taiwo, and she has been managing his finances since the beginning of his career. Bro, these athletes are getting smarter day by day. bitches getting Hakimi'd left and right.
Remember Hakimi? When he put all his assets in his mother's name, the football player, soccer player. Because his wife, who divorced him, was trying to get money. This woman, we all know that Israel Adesanya got bread. But he was smart enough to make sure he pulled a reverse Uno on his wife. He put all his wealth from the UFC fighting that he did and had his mom manage it. Somebody he knows that cares about his well-being. And when his wife decided to all of a sudden, I'm not happy. When she's suddenly not happy, she goes, and they were only married 1 year, ladies and gentlemen, 1 year. Israel Adesanya and his wife was married for 1 year, and she went after $7.5 million. It was a jackpot for her. But according to the law, and this is what it means, when I say women don't like when men pull a woman on a woman, because Israel Adesanya had a $0 net worth because all his riches was transferred to his money the moment that he got his checks, he wasn't worth anything, but she was worth $1 million. So since she took him to court, the judge awarded him $500,000 of her money. And she had to pay the court fees, the legal fees. Remember when 50 Cent, the story about 50 Cent when he had got Marquise, when he got his wife pregnant with Marquise years ago, 26 something years ago, and he was giving her $25,000 a month just on the strength. What up, Chaos? What up, nephew? I didn't even see the chat. I'm not even looking on. What up, Philip? Don't worry about it, man. I'm getting ready to break out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I got to get used to remember I got 2 different podcast studios, so I got to get used to looking over here at the chat. In fact, it's supposed to make a sound, but I don't hear it. Either way, nevertheless, remember 50 Cent was giving his baby moms $25,000 a month on the strength. And she thought life was good. And she was like, let's just chill. And he was like, no, I got to go to work. What are you talking about? She was like, no, I'm cool. She had a problem. So 50 was smart, went and put himself on child support. And the judge said, $25,000 is too much. And the judge legally ordered him to only pay $8,000 a month. She was getting $25,000 and she had an attitude and wanted more. So 50 went and put himself on child support and dropped it down to only $8,000. What about Chris Brown, ladies and gentlemen? Women hate when men pull a woman on a woman. Chris Brown lives in Los Angeles, but with his daughter, his eldest daughter, that was born in Texas, I believe. I'm not gonna lie, Chris Brown has probably one of the best teams in terms of image and legal that I've ever seen in entertainment. Chris Brown went and put himself on child support in Texas because in Texas, there's a cap on how much you pay in child support. That's why people love Texas, boy. There's a cap. It doesn't matter if you are a multi-billionaire. You can there is no man or woman in Texas paying more than $2,500 a month in child support. $2,500 is the cap in Texas. In California, it's relevant to how much money you make. If Chris Brown would have got put on child support in California, he'd be paying upwards of $30,000 to $40,000 a month for that one child. But because Chris put himself on child support in Texas, $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month for Chris Brown. That's what, 30 grand a year? 30 grand a year? That's less than $1 million for her entire childhood. Chris makes that per song. Multiple of that per song. Meaning it's no big deal. Smart move. He pulled a reverse, Chris Brown pulled a reverse Uno on his baby mom. Smart man. What do we learn here? Ladies, you fought for these laws, you begged for these laws, and when men use them on you, you got a problem. Don't have a problem. Be fair, right? Gentlemen, protect your meat. Protect your meat. As Coach Greg Adams says, money, energy, attention, and time. It's not available to everybody. Join the Army. Come on over to the SR Army. Please subscribe, share this video. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you learned something. I'm just trying to save you some heartache, headache, money, and time. I'm Sergeant Shan, and you are dismissed.